We're here down at Akhna Speedway today for the Cyprus Drift Championship practice, and tomorrow is the race day. Hello everybody, welcome to Akhna Speedway. We're here for the second round of the Cyprus Drift Championship. Today we have practice. It's Saturday and tomorrow we have the race day. Race day starts at 10 a.m. in the morning with practice followed by qualification runs. After the break we have the twin battles on Sunday. Make sure to come down to Akhna Speedway to watch the spectacle. One sec, as I post it onto my YouTube shorts. I need to put the link. 1 second, guys. Alright guys, so we're here down at Akhna Speedway. It's Saturday and we have practice for the Cyprus Drift Championship, which is tomorrow, Sunday, at Akhna Speedway. We're just waiting for the cars to come down. They have started to practice. We've had 2 runs already, but we're just waiting for the rest of the guys to come down to the parking. We've got CH Laser up here watching some of the drivers as well. And we're just waiting for the cars to come down. We have the judges with us as well. Inside we've got Mike from Drift Kings. We've got Adam, who is the judge of Drift Kings, Drift Masters and Formula Drift. And we have Adam as well with us. We have the layout for today. They come in, they initiate over there where the wall is with an outside zone, come across to the second outside zone. They do a transition across the track to this outside zone. They must stay on the outer line all the way around for 1, 2, 3, 4. They come across here, they do a transition with an inside clip on the cone. Then transition, they need to be on the other side of the cone that's in front of you right there. They pass around. We have 1, 2, 3 outside zones and the finish line is there where the blue line is. Let's see what's going to happen now. They were all itching to practice. Now we have a car coming down. Let's see who we have. We've got Efthios. Comes in. Way too wide around the track there. 2 wheels off track. As he comes across to the transition on the inner clip, he gets it pretty well. Comes round the cone. On the outer line, 2 wheels out of the track though for Efthios. It was a nice line, but he was way outside and he was putting 2 wheels out on most of the zones, so he has to reel it in a bit, but with a bit of a reel in, he'll be on all of the zones like he should be. Gamer Thug, hello and how are you today? We've got Paulis Konstantin missing the first 2 zones. Comes round, could be a bit deeper in those zones there. Paulis, it's his first practice of the week. Into the inner zone there. As he goes back onto the outer line, going through the last 3 outer zones. Not a bad run for Paulis considering it's his first run on this layout this year. He just needs to reel in the initiation and the second zone there and be a little bit deeper in this zone. Next driver. We've got Andreas Wax missing the second zone, missing the third zone. Into the 4th, 5th and 6th zone. Comes round for the transition, inner clip. He could have been a bit deeper. On the full throttle around the last 3 clipping zones with a nice angle and across the finish line. Not a bad run from Wax on the second half of the layout, but the first layout he could have done a lot better than that. He needs to go deeper into this zone and push out here on Thursday. They were having a lot of trouble, the drivers, to get into this zone because you need to really let the car push across the track. Alekos Hassi, E30, 2JZ, missing the first 2 clipping zones, 3 clipping zones. He could have been deeper in that zone. Transitioning, getting the inside zone very nicely. Nice angle as he goes, misses the last. Alekos Hasikos missing the last 3 zones here. With a little tap of the handbrake, you can get yourself back onto the racing line and be on the outside line for the last 3 zones. Now we have Doros Francescu hauling ass into the parking lot, straight through the zone there. A nice line from Doro Francescu as he goes through all the clipping zones, coming from the inner clip. Very nice run here from Doro Francescu, going through the limit on the outside of the track. That was one of the best runs that we've seen so far. Doros Francescu, old school driver, been driving for the last 15 years in his E30 BMW. Very nice run there from Doros Francescu. Yeah, Hasikos 2JZ'd his E30 so that he can keep up with the other drivers that are with 2J, and I think now that his car is a 2JZ, he's finding it much easier to put his car into the clipping zones. It's nice to see Alekos getting down some nice driving with his new engine. Next we have, can you hear me on the microphone well today, Gamer Thug? We have Savas SP E36 coming in hot, missing the zone. I mean, he didn't really miss it, but he could have been deeper. Getting the inner zone, missing the first outer zone, and gaining the last 2. Few mistakes there from Savas SP. Some of the clips he got them, but he could have been way deeper. For example, this one here, and he missed that one, but got the last 2. Moving over to the next guy. We've got Kyros Artemiou. Where is he going? Kyros Artemiou doing a very fast transition there, completely getting himself off the line and coming on the other side of the cone that's here, so that would have been a 0. Gamer Thug, the mic is good, right? You can hear me clearly, even when the cars are passing, because I've put a microphone on today. Hopefully we don't have any wind noise like we did on the last live. Now we wait for the next driver to come down into the parking lot. Who do we have? We have our first win of the day. We have Polis Constantinou leading. As they go through the zones, Wax gets on the doors of Polis Constantinou. What a run! The proximity today is great. They go to the inner zone. As they come round, Andreas Wax goes for the dive. He's right on the doors of Polis Constantinou as they cross the line. That was one exciting twin battle, the first exciting twin battle of the day. Andreas Wax getting on the doors of Polis Constantinou there. The proximity was great for a practice run. Hope they can do that tomorrow. We've got Doros Francescu coming in hot, a bit deeper. He's missing the zones. Coming round on the outer zone now, coming into the inner clip. He's back on the racing line as he goes through the last 3 clipping zones. Doros Francescu's first run was better than that. He didn't fly out enough, deep enough to the outer zone there. That's when he transitioned. He was too early and he completely missed the zone here. Thank you, Gamer Thug. Thank you for the feedback, bro. Next, we've got Kyros Artemiou. Could have been a little bit deeper in the first zone, but he gets that zone pretty well, but puts 2 wheels out, thus misses the next 2 zones, 3 zones, and now he's off the track. It's very important that the cars push out to this zone here and get that zone fully, so that when you transition, you're pushed further out towards this clipping zone so that you can get it smoothly and then continue on the outer line. of the track. Here we have the Power Drift Lab Championship organization pushing a hay bale. I'm going to add some hay bales here just for some safety for the tower as the cars are coming through the parking with incredible speed. We don't want anyone coming towards the marshals. Following to the next run. We have C. Pedro coming in. He missed briefing this morning, so I don't know if he knows the exact line the judge is looking for, but so far he's looking tidy as he pushes the car to the outside zone, claiming all three zones. A nice run there by C. Pedro, considering he completely missed the briefing this morning. Banais with the Gallant should be coming down this afternoon. He was here on Thursday. We have Gregoriou. He could have been a bit deeper in this zone. That's missing the next two zones. He could have been deeper in that one as well. Coming through the inner zone, he took it really nicely as he pushes his car to the outer lane, going across the last three clipping points. Having seen that run, I feel that these three last clipping zones, he could have pushed the car a little bit further. He wasn't fully in the zone, so he needs to push on the next run and just get the car to go a little bit more out, maybe 50, 60 centimeters to fully fulfill the clipping zones. Now we've got another twin. We've got Andreas Wax leading, Wallis Costantino chasing. Wax goes to the clipping zone. He's got a great line around the track. Wallis is trying to catch up with Wax, but Wax is a very fast driver. Wax goes for the inner zone, gets it perfectly, pushes his car to the outer line. As he pushes the car at full throttle across the finish line, Wallis Costantino has no chance to catch up with Wax. Wax is a super fast driver. Once Wax has gone, very hard to keep up with him. Definitely going to lose my voice today. Now we've got Kyros Artemiou pushing for the outside zone. Too much angle though. Pulling two wheels out, getting completely off the racing line. He needs to pull his handbrake, get back on the racing line and continue his practice. Flying through the inner zone. That was a nice pass from Kyros through the inner zone, and now he's back onto the racing line and putting his car through the last two zones. He got them pretty well, but the last zone he kind of missed it a little bit. Moving the second bale to complete the safety barrier for the tower here. We've got the three people from the organization. We've got Cherepis, the president of the Drift Club. We've got Sergio Gregorio coming in with too much angle, dropping his speed so that he cannot make the next two clipping points. He gets the car back onto the racing line, gets through the last two outer zones, goes through the inner zone clipping point. Very nice from Sergio now. Now he's on the racing line and he's back through all the clipping zones with the back of his car. He came in with far too much angle here by scrubbing his speed. When he did the transition, he completely missed this zone, but then he corrected and then got back onto the racing line, which is the outer zone for the rest of the clipping zones. Next driver, we've got Sodas, Kyriakos Mario with his E36. Kyriakos Mario needs to get back onto the racing line to push his car to the outer zones. There we go, Soda. Come through the inner zone, he gets that nice, pushing the car at full throttle to reach the outer zones. Looks like he might be two wheels out though. Looked like he might have been two wheels out on this zone and trying to get it back onto the racing line there. Next run, we've got C. Pedro. Whoa, 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 whoa! There we go. Completely taking out the cone by coming into the track far too fast and doing a transition in the complete wrong place, thus hitting the cone. So he's going to go back up to the start line and redo that run. Heroes Artemiu coming in hot. He gets the clipping zone, could have been 30 centimeters, a bit more deeper in the zone. The rest of the line looks pretty good, claims the inner zone. Now he's pushing the car to the outer part of the track, going through the last 3 clipping points. There we go, a nice run there from Kyros Artemiu as he's now figured out the track. Back on point there for Kyros Artemiu. He was getting all of the zones. He did a very nice run there. On this zone here, he could have been a tiny little bit deeper just to get the whole clip with the rear of his car. But other than that, it was pretty good. Coming in, could have been a little bit deeper on that zone. He gets back onto the outer line, coming around for the inner zone now. And a nice run from Bambos Nicolau. In hot, getting the car onto the racing line there, through the outer zones, coming up for the transition now. Too much angle there, scrubbing his speed, and the car straightens. As he came out of the transition here, he had too much angle as he transitioned across the track, thus scrubbing his speed down and missing the outer last zones. We have Ephigios coming in with his E46 turbo. Really nice run there from Ephigios, claiming all the clipping points deep in them. Very nice run here from Ephigios as he comes in for the inner clip, pushing the car out to the outer line. 2 wheels off the track on the last 3 zones. Ephigios doing a really nice half of the layout. The first half of the layout was really nice, but the second half of the layout, he pushed the car too much and he put 2 wheels out on the last 3 zones. We have Kyriakos Mariutsoda transitioning across the track. A little bit of a shallow line, but he pushes himself to get on the other clipping zones. He pushes himself around the track. Goes for the inner zone there, pressing the brakes, locking up the front wheels, and he comes across the line. Sodas is doing really well on the second half of the layout, but the first half of the layout he could push a little bit more on his transition here and fly across the track to gain this zone on the outside. Got a 180 entry by CH Loizu coming in flying. If your wheels are off track, it's a 0. We've got Chapuras is racing with the S15 V6 of Andreas Wax. He's been lent the car for the weekend as he shoots around, shooting flames as he passes the last 2 clipping zones. This car used to be the practice car for the drift lessons at Aachen Speedway. The car used to be green. It has a complete fiberglass front end and a complete fiberglass rear clip. It's a nice car, but it's NA, running a V6 from the 350Z engine. Pedro coming in, right through the zone there. Could have been a tad deeper, like 10 centimeters. Looks like he might be 2 wheels out on the last. Through the inner zone there. Body standing completely in the way there. He did really well, see Pedro, on these last 3 zones here, but the 3 zones opposite us, he was maybe a wheel out. Kiros Artemiou flying in, missing the point as he transitioned far too early. Pushes the car to the outer zones, gets back on the racing line. As he comes up to the inner clip, he straightens. Πάρει γίνεται να σταθείς λίγο ποτά, ρε μπρο. Γιατί κάνω live, she's ακριβώς μες στη μέση. Look, buddy, being very serious with me there. Trying to make me να με ψαρώσει, but he can't do this anymore. We've known him now really well. We've got Bambos Nicolau coming in far too much angle there, missing one of the zones. Completely on the wrong line there from Bambo Nicolau as he tries to push the car back to the correct line. He comes across the inner zone, claims the inner zone, and pushes the car for the final 3 zones. Missing the last one just a little bit there. Not a very good run there from Bambos Nicolau as he completely made a massive mistake on the first zone. It is starting to rain a little bit here at the track. Bambo, we've got Efthigio, coming in. Could have been deeper on the zone there, but he's back onto the racing line there on the outer zone. The rain is coming down a little bit more now, so the cars will start to slide a bit as the track starts to get wet. Many of the drivers here don't have that much practice in the rain, so this is going to be an interesting afternoon to say the least. Since they practiced on Thursday, there might be quite a lot of tire in some of the areas, thus making the track super slippery. Savas SP coming in hot, taking out the first cone. Transitions across the track, puts 1 wheel out. Needs to find the correct line. There, he slows down a little bit there, realizing his mistake. Again, 2 wheels off track. Through the inner zone there, but the car looks a little bit straight as the rain starts to come down. The track is starting to get wet slowly, and it's going to start changing the reaction of the cars. As I said before, because they practiced on Thursday, it's going to start getting quite slippery. Whoa. Who is this guy? This is a new driver. He was practicing on Thursday. It used to be Hajiko's car, but I think on Thursday they might have broken axle or something, so he hasn't had that much practice. We have CH Loizo coming in hot. He could have been deeper in that zone. He straightens a little bit, needs to get more correction. Something is pouring out of the back of Christos' car and wetting one of his tires. It's very slippery now. The track is changing and most of the cars have the wrong tire pressure at the moment. As they were practicing before in the dry, now it's starting to get wet, so they might have to play around with their tire pressures so that they can find the grip back again. But I see that when Christo came in on the right side of the car, there looks like there's some sort of liquid pouring down onto the wheel. They should check that out because it probably loses grip to that tire since it's getting wet. We've got C. Pedro coming in slowly just to make sure that he doesn't overslide from the rain. Wow, he did a really nice job there getting that zone. Washes out because of the wet surface. Now they're going to find it a lot harder to drift because they're going to have to reduce speed due to it being so wet. Let me say that again. Since the track is getting wetter and wetter as each run passes, and all of the cars are set up with semi-slicks and they're running pressures for the dry. As you see, Bambo's now sliding through the parking area. They're not used to driving in the rain, as I said before, so they need to come in a little bit more reserved, come in at a slower speed, transition across the track, and you have to really fight with the steering wheel and your power to stay on the racing line and not put wheels out, as the track is going to be super slippery. I really want to go and get my Lexus now, because my Lexus will do perfect in the rain. It will be like I have 1,000 horsepower. But for now, we're going to do the live stream. I'm going to stand here in the rain for you guys. I do not care if I get wet. I have a change of clothes with me, and it's a little bit of rain. Doesn't really hurt anybody. Now we have a bit of a wait as we wait for the next car to come down. Who do we have? We have Eftigios coming in, realizing it's wet, scrubbing his speed a bit, missing the outer zone as he goes almost into a spin, and he spins out. It's going to make an interesting live, the rain, as you'll see from the driver's experience in the rain. This is probably their first practice in the rain in maybe a year or so, as we don't get that much rain in Cyprus. So yeah, it's going to make an interesting watch. Next we have Kyriakos Mariutsoda coming in the track, missing the first zone, pulling the handbrake, trying to get back onto the racing line, but that outer zone there must be super slippery, as let's just saw that complete his run. Because the cars are flying in super fast before in the dry, there's full throttle from here all the way around, so they're putting down loads of tire, and it's loads of semi-slick is already down on the track there, thus making it super slippery in the rain. The rain's slowly starting to stop a little bit. It's still drizzling, but it's not as much as it was 2 minutes ago. Hopefully the track will dry out slowly after a few runs. We've got, who is this driver? Maybe we can see on the door. It's Savas Ioannou. I imagine the S is a Savas. New driver in the championship. I haven't seen him drive that much. On Thursday, like I said, I saw them pushing the car into the pits, so I'm thinking maybe it was a broken drive shaft or something like that. So yeah, he needs to figure out the racing line. And it must be really challenging for him as well, being a new driver. It's hard enough being a new driver and driving under the pressure of the championship, but it's also hard driving with that, plus it being wet. I've just taken the microphone off for now, so I can charge up my phone. So if the audio is a little bit worse than it was before, that's the reason why. But as soon as my phone is charged up, I'll be putting the lav mic back on so that you can hear me crystal clear. Because I'm shouting. When the cars are passing from here, I can't even hear my own voice. So that's why I might be shouting a bit through the live stream. I'm sorry about that. We've got the drone coming in here. Where is he? Flying around Mike right there. On the drone, we've got Daniil, FPV. It's Czech FPV. Where are the guys? They're somewhere here underneath flying the drones. Here they are. I bet he gets some nice shots in the rain today. We've now got the 4 hay bales here protecting a little bit the tower, even though the bales scare me a little bit, because if one of the cars do hit the bales and somebody's standing like where Mike is, it's not going to be a pretty sight, because these things, they weigh a ton anyway, and these ones are wet as well because it's rained recently, so there's a lot of weight in them. So yeah, it's a little bit sketchy. Theo Pastu isn't here today. I haven't seen him yet. A new driver named Alex. I don't know who the Alex guy is. I haven't seen anybody named Alex in the briefing room. Theo Pastu should be down later on. Whoops, almost dropped my phone. Theo Pastu should be down later today. Igor just came to make an entry but spun out on initiation. I don't think he realized how wet the track is. We'll go up to the pits after the first round of practice, and I'll show you which drivers are here today. They're not all here yet, to be honest. It is Saturday. People do work today. They get off for the race, which is Sunday, but they might come in the afternoon of today. We'll see. Coming into the parking lot, we have Savas Ioannou. Needs to find the racing line. Bit sketchy where the wall is because it's super slippery. Clutch kicks the car, tries to get it out sideways, but he's going too slow. Tries again to lock it up. He needs to go a lot faster than that to get the back of the car to go out sideways, and he spins out over there. This part of the track, I would imagine, is the worst part of the track because there's the most tire there. Most of the layouts that we use in the parking, they use this turn a lot, so there must be loads of rubber there, so it's going to be super slippery. Now we've got Igor with the E36 coming in, all over the place a little bit, until he finds the racing line. I think it's Igor's first time to drive in the rain. The drivers, when they come in and they do a pass which isn't great, like now you saw Igor, he messed up on initiation. My advice to them is continue your run. It's practice today. Continue your run. You have the whole layout to try and find how to drive in the rain. Don't just spin out and then go straight back up to the pits. You have to wait like 15 minutes until your next run. So take advantage of it. We've got Jaburas making a really nice run here. Staying within the lines of the racetrack, maybe putting one wheel out, but it's a nice run here in the wet. As he transitions across the track through the inner zone, does it pretty well, pushes the car out to the outer zone through the slipperiest part of the racetrack. What a nice run by Jaburas. Jaburas is one of the drivers in Cyprus who is on the sim racing. He has the most sim racing hours out of all of the drivers. I think he was telling me the other day that he has maybe 4,000 hours on the sim, and it shows. Because maybe he drives in a rain on the sim as well. He pulled it off very nicely. First car of the day to pull off a nice run in the rain. The rain has now stopped though, and the track is drying. We've got Igor coming in. On the zone, he needs to push his car a bit further out. Through the inner zone, he makes it quite well, but he puts wheels off track. And now he gets the last 3 clipping zones. He did pretty well on this part of the track, but the first part of the track, he needs to push the car out wider to claim this zone. This zone is very important. If you mess up this zone, you will definitely mess up this zone. And if you mess up this zone and you're too far in, you're going to have to really push the car to get back onto the outer zone, outer line of the track. Yes, I can show you the clipping zones. We have a clipping zone on initiation, outer zone. They come across the track, another outer zone there. Again, we have Jaburas coming in. They transition across the track. They have another outer zone here, one outer zone there, another outer zone there. They come across here. They transition with the inner zone right there on the cone. Transition again, push the car to its limit to get an outer zone there, another outer zone there, another outer zone there, and the blue line is the finish line. If you want to see the layout a bit closer, you can go on my Instagram account, and it's in the stories. You can screenshot it so that you can have it with you on Sunday so that you know where the drivers need to be. We have Igor missing the first 2 zones, pushing the car, and he needs to go way wider in order for him to pick up the rest of the zones. Igor needs to go a little bit faster on the initiation to push his car out to get this zone so that he can get this zone and then the next 2 zones. And for the last 3 zones, he did get them, but he needs to be way deeper. He needs to be at least, I don't know, maybe 60, 70 centimeters deeper. I can't see because of the smoke and I can't see because of the angle of where I'm standing, but that's what I feel like he needs to do. Misha is coming in an hour. Maybe we'll do some twins later in the rain. We've got Chaburas coming in, getting that zone very nicely, staying within the racing track lines. He pushes the car with a slight correction there as it comes to do the inner zone, pushing the car across the last 3 clipping zones. Another very nice run there by Chaburas. You can tell who has a sim at home. I mean, most of the drivers have a sim at home, but you can tell who plays a lot. Chaburas doing a very nice run, very tidy. Just a few corrections there, but he pulled off one of the better runs of the day. So I'm just going through your comments. Hi, Misha. We've done the clipping zones. You're coming in an hour. I'm on daily car. No! Andreas Wax coming down with his S13. Who's driving the S13? Is there anybody here that can answer me that question? Because I'm sure Wax was with his S14 before. Ποιος είναι στο S13? Όχι, ο Τσαπούρας είναι με το άλλον. Είχε S13 τώρα του Wax. We've got Igor coming in. He's trying to push out to that outer zone. Nice to see. He's back onto the racing line after missing the first 3 clips. Comes to the inner zone. Gets that very well, very deep there. As he pushes the car to get to the outer last 3 zones. One of Igor's best runs of the day. Not quite there yet. He was much better than his previous run. He did push it out to this outer zone, but if he was a little bit deeper, it would have helped him pick up this zone as well, and then the following one, which is over there. We've got Sergios Gregoriou missing the first clip, thus missing the second clip, thus missing the third clip. Now he's pushing the car to get onto the zone. I think he missed that zone as well. Transitions across the track, gets the inner zone pretty well. Scrubbing his speed though too much and straightening. Sideways is only the solution. Clear blue skies coming in. Push those clouds far, far away. CH Loizu coming in, missing the first zone. Missing the second zone, missing the third zone. Come on, Christo, push your car, get back onto the racing line. He gets the inner zone there, pushes the car to get to the outer clips, smoking up the tires as he comes across the finish line. Have in mind, Christo is a little bit sick today, and on Thursday when he came down on his first run, he initiated into the parking and his gearbox split in half. So now they changed out the gear motive gearbox with a BMW gearbox. So he has no practice with this layout. Igor really pushing his car, trying to get to this outer zone. Still not making it though. He did get the last 2, coming up to the inner zone here. Pushing his car full throttle with Igor. Once Igor figures out this zone, it will make him push his car to here, but at the moment he can't quite reach this yet. Bolis Costandino coming in, could have been deeper on the first zone, coming across the second zone, missing that one. He needs to push it a little bit more out onto the outside line. Coming across the inner zone, does that one pretty well. Coming up to the last 3 clipping zones where he picks them all up. Not a bad run there by Bolis Costandino. He does need to push. Most of the drivers are making mistake on this. This is the second zone. The first zone is on the initiation. On the second and third zone, most drivers are messing up there. Serkis could have gone a little bit deeper. You see, it really helps you out. This zone, you have to go in it as deep as possible, thus to get this zone and be on the outside line. Scrubbing his speed again. I don't know what Serkis is doing, but as he's transitioning here, once he's transitioned past the inner zone, he's scrubbing way too much speed, not getting back onto the throttle, thus having a complete shallow line across the finish line. Now we've got Igor claiming the second clipping zone, that's pushing a little bit more power to get into the third zone, fourth zone achieved. Fifth zone achieved, coming across the track for the transition for the sixth clip, inner zone, he gets it. Ade Igor, go bro. 7, 8, 9. Not a bad run there from Igor, best run of the day that he's had so far. He's really trying to push for this zone. If he stayed in the transition a little bit longer, he might have reached that, or it could be a lack of power. But it's much better than before. We've got Bolis Costandino coming in flying, taking out the second zone. Vale Cono! I was just telling Mario to put the cone back. Maybe he didn't see that it fell over. So that the drivers can see where that zone is, because it's the most important zone. Without these cones, when you drive in the morning when the track was freshly painted, you can sort of see the clipping zones when you come into the parking. But if the cones weren't there, the cones have to be on the zones, or else you're coming in fast, you just can't see the zones, and they're getting a bit darker every time. Serkis. Completely wrong line there. He needs to pull the handbrake and push his car to the outer zone. Maybe it's his son driving. It must be his son driving, because Serkis is a really good driver. I forgot completely that his son started racing in the championship in semi-pro, so it must be his son driving. Yeah, I was thinking it's a bit weird for Serkis to be scrubbing power there, but it must be Serkis' son. Bolis Costandino coming in a bit more, retained speed. Gets that zone really nicely. Decelerates a little bit to stay within the track lines. Comes across the track for the transition. Could have been a bit deeper on the inner zone there as he pushes his car to the outer zone, going through all the last 3 clipping points. On point there from a much better run from Bolis Costandino, even though he did miss the second clip on the outside there. Evklidis! Oh, my hand from holding the phone. I need to get a tripod. I did have a tripod for the live stream, but I put it somewhere and it's gone. Either somebody took it or I have misplaced it somewhere. Now we're waiting a little bit. Maybe some of the drivers are changing tires up in the pits and there's no one on the start line. If you don't know, the judges we have here, we have Vernon from Drift Kings, Drift Masters and Formula Drift. We've got Adam from Hungary, and we have Mike from Drift Kings. Sandino on his second run, still missing the second and third clip, washes out 2 tires, 3 tires, 4 tires off the track there. Not a very good run there from Bolli. His previous run was a little bit better than that. He went off completely off the track. After coming out there, he washed out completely. Let's read some of the comments. Power! We need to do a drift lesson soon, Mr. Evclidis. As soon as I fix the handbrake, at the moment in my car, the handbrake is not locking up the rear wheels. I need to separate it from the braking system. But once that's done, we should do a drift lesson. Neophytos Figatou, his first run of the day. Not deep enough in the second and third clip, thus missing the fourth clip. Coming across the track for the transition. Yeah, Neophytos Figatou needs to do a better run than that. Not at all good, didn't get the zones, but it is his first run of the day. Neophytos Figatou racing in his S13 with an SR20, one of the few SR20s in the Cyprus Drift Championship. We've got Mario Tsodas, could have been deeper on the second clip, thus not being deep enough in the third, but gets on the fourth, fifth, coming up to the sixth inner zone, gets that very nicely, pushes the car across the track to the seventh outer zone, eighth outer zone, ninth outer zone, and across the line. Not a bad run there from Tsodas, but he needs to push again for this clip so that he can push himself out for this clip. Japura's S15 V6 engine from the 350Z. Japura's doing some really nice runs today. Got to congratulate him because it's the most consistent driver of the day so far. Comes to the inner zone, pushes the car to the last 3 zones. Another really nice run by Japura's. Very nice, bro. You should feel very proud of yourself. You've done 4 or 5 runs so far. You've had one that wasn't so great, but most of them were really good, showing that you're a consistent driver with your car that has been lent to him by Andreas Wax. It used to be the ex-drift car of Achna Speedway, which we used to do the lessons. I personally love driving that car. It's really good fun. Neophytos Figatou gets the second clipping zone, transitions across the track. Could have been a little bit deeper in the third zone, fourth zone picks it up. Lots of smoke, nice angle from Neophytos Figatou as he transitions for the inner zone. Could have been maybe 20 centimeters deeper for the inner zone, but he pushes the car to the outer track. Loads of smoke, misses the last clipping zone. But the angle was pretty good on the run. I think, Evclidi, if I can fix my handbrake this week, I need to go and buy some new hydraulic lines. Once those are fitted to the rear of the car and I bleed it and I know the handbrake is working perfectly, I'm going to go get some tires from SP Tires, one of my sponsors, and I'll give you a call and we'll come down and do a drift lesson. Kyriakos Marisodias missing the second zone, thus missing the third zone. I mean, he got it a little bit, but now he's on point 4, 5, 6, inner zone now. Very nice. So that's pushing the car out now for the outer 3 zones. And across the finish line. Maybe 1 tire out on the last zone. I hope you're all enjoying the live stream. I'm charging still, so we can't use the microphone just yet. The iPhone, for the amount of money you pay for an iPhone, they could make you 2 ports so that I could have a microphone and the power bank at the same time. It's a little bit annoying. Who do we have now? Neofidos Figatu needs to be a bit deeper on the second clip. Transition to the track. Misses the third zone, misses the fourth zone. Comes up to the fifth zone. Now he's on the racing line. Transitions to the sixth zone. He could have been a bit deeper there. Woo! And a spin into the marbles and saves it just before hitting the tire wall. If you heard me just say marbles now, these are the marbles. All the black pieces of a tire that gets left behind is called marbles. When you go on the marbles, it's super slippery. It's like almost gravel and you'll just wash out. So yeah, you don't want to go on the marbles. I've been on the marbles a few times and I've ended up in the wall. If you go to the wall one day and you find any tire with turquoise paint on it, that's me. And there's plenty of them there. I once crashed on the wall. I'll never forget. I came round the corner and I ramped the car onto the tire wall and I put first gear in to move forward and I realized I'm not going anywhere. I realized my back end of the car was in the air. Kyros Artemio coming in far too fast, missing the second point, the third point, the fourth point. Pushes the car to get back on the zone on the fifth point. Hooks up, transitions, gets the inner zone, but could have been a little bit deeper. Pushes the car at full throttle through the last 3 zones and across the line for Kyros Artemio in the BMW E36. Used to be Stelios Zacharias' ex-drift car, used to be white. Ioannou coming in, trying to find the racing line. E30 used to be Hajiko's old car. As he transitions across the track, pushes the car, really fighting with it. But hats off to him for trying to give it a go. He just needs to do lots and lots of practice. Go every time, do as many runs as he can today until he gets the layout down. This is why practice is so important for the drivers. Practice makes perfect. Do you think James Dean doesn't practice? James Dean is always practicing. If he's not practicing at his local go-kart track, he's practicing in the grass. They do these field drifting that I've seen on his YouTube channel. He's practicing on his sim at night at home. Every evening it looks like he's giving it a go. So yeah, you have to keep on your game, you have to keep practicing, you have to be disciplined when you practice. Most of the drivers, when they come on Thursday, when they came to practice, they drift, they don't get anywhere near the clipping zones, but they keep drifting on the wrong line. Thus, you're just training yourself to have such bad habits. It's practice day. Everybody is here for the same reason. You come in, you notice you're not on the correct line, pull the handbrake, let the car go out wide so that you're on the outer zone, and push and discipline yourself to do a really nice run. Second clipping zone, he misses it, thus missing the third and fourth. Up to the fifth, Kyros Artemio gets back on the racing line, but puts 2 wheels out as he comes up to transition in front of the inner zone. Scrubbing a bit speed there, too much angle. Washing off the racing line and across the line for Kyros Artemio. Now we've got Igor pushing across the track, trying to get the second zone, missing the third zone, missing the fourth zone. Pushing his car to get onto the fifth zone. He gets it, but he could have been deeper. Transitions across the track. Gets the inner zone. Could have been about 20 centimeters, a bit more deeper. pushes the car, gets the 7th zone, 8th zone, and on the 9th zone he could have been a bit deeper. I feel that Igor is lacking a little bit more. He could do with a little bit more power on the E36. He has an E46, the missile car, and I feel that is a little bit faster than his E36, but it doesn't have a roll cage. CH Loizo coming in, missing the... Whoa, 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 whoa! CH Loizo coming in, missing the 2nd zone, doing quite a vicious transition there and scrubbing his speed completely to a standstill. Again, Savas Ioannou coming in, transition. So far, he's not on the racing line, but he's pulling off the layout. He needs to get this run under his belt without straightening, irrelevant to the lines. There we go. Get on the outer zone. There we go. I'm happy for Savas Ioannou there. It's nice to see him actually get the layout down. It's the first time that he's drifted the entire layout, so it's nice to see that. And now he knows, now he has a base basically. He can build off this run and start to get the zones. Alek Kosasi goes 2JZ, E30 comes in way too shallow. Misses the 3rd, 4th zone. Pushes the car to get the 5th zone, but could have been deeper. Comes across to transition. Inner zone gets it pretty well, straightens a little bit with a little bit of correction, back on throttle, but is a little bit too shallow across the last 3 zones of the racetrack. The judges have left. They're probably fed up of me shouting on the live stream. Next driver, we have Igor coming in hot, claiming the 2nd zone. Nice one, Igor. Push the car out. Getting the 3rd zone, the 4th zone, he could have been deeper. The 5th zone, he gets it. He's coming now to transition for the inner zone. Perfect, Igor. Yes, bro. Push your car to the outer zone. 7, 8. He could be a bit deeper on 9, but that's the best run of the day for Igor. Well done, bro. Super proud of you. He pushed his car to the limit, got the 2nd zone, thus getting the 3rd zone. The 4th zone, he could have been a little bit deeper as you need to push your car to stay on the outside line. The track is completely dry now. The sun is out, so it's starting to get a bit more grippy. CH Loizo missing the 2nd zone. Getting the 3rd zone, though, staying on the outside line. Could have been a bit deeper on the 4th zone there. 5th zone, he's pretty good as he comes across the transition. Inner zone takes out the inner zone cone and straightens and stops just before the wall. Jesus, I bet that was a bit scary. He took out the clipping here. Somebody needs to fix this cone. Let's find a marshal. Why is nobody paying attention? Oh, we are alone here. The cone is on the floor and nobody will fix it now. Maria, o κόνος! Όχι, αλλά θέλουν να δουν που είναι τα σημεία. Σταματάς τους να ρέξει κάποιος. I'm just shouting at the marshals just to put the cone back because we've got check FPV on the FPV. Check them out on Instagram. Whip! Leon, μπροστά από την ίσια του μπλε. Giallo? Giallo μποδά? Bomba, James. Thank you. There we go. We've got the inner zone back up there. And we've got Mr. El Toredo with his BMW E46 coming into the track now. My screen's dimmed. Now it's getting bright out here. My screen has gone into dim mode. I can barely see anything. We've got C. Pedro coming in hot, getting the 2nd zone, pushing across the track. He could have been way deeper in the 3rd zone. 4th and 5th, he picked it up, maybe one wheel off. Transitions across the track, gets the inside zone, pushes his car to the sideways and across the finish line for C. Pedro there. C. Pedro doing not a bad run there. He could have been deeper in this zone though. Wow, I am not going to have a voice today. I don't know how David Egan does it. He does all of the, like, this year he's racing in Drift Masters, but last year he was doing Drift Masters. I don't know how you do 2 days of commentary and not lose your voice. Alekos Hasigos, E32 JZ, coming around, transitioning in front of the inside clip, very nice, as he pushes the car to all of the outside zones. Guys, I'm gonna have a quick, just gonna come in here. This is where the judges will be standing. Now they're not here, we can stand in here. I will film the live stream from outside because it's more exciting. But they stand in here where they have 360 views of the track. Igor coming in, claiming the second zone, pushing his car, getting the third zone, but could have been a little bit deeper. Fourth zone, he could have been deeper. Fifth zone, he's on point as he comes across the track to transition for the inner zone there, does it really nicely, pushes the car to the outer zones, and across the finish line. Guys, I'm just gonna have a quick 1 minute break. I need to go to the toilet quickly and I wanna go downstairs and get my drink because I'm so thirsty. I'm gonna leave you guys right here. If you wanna go have a break as well, go to the toilet, get yourself something from the fridge to drink. We're gonna do 1 minute break while I go and sort all of this out. Stay tuned. We will be back for the rest of the live stream. I'm boiling. Sergis Gregorio, or maybe his father. I can't tell who is driving the car. Basically, I can tell a little bit from the driving, but I never know who's. The break is continuing. I'm going quickly to the toilet and I'll be right back. Dave Bell, S15 SR20. First run of the day. All right, coming back from the break. We have C. Bedroom. I'm going to go back onto the balcony now that I've taken off my hoodie, because when the sun comes out here in Cyprus, I mean, it's not summer yet, but it ain't half hot. I went from being cold in the morning because of the rain to boiling hot. Oh, Igor coming in, maybe not initiating properly and straightened. check what our battery is doing. 14%. I'm on the power bank, but because the live stream is taking out so much power from my phone, it's just staying at 14% and it's not charging. I should have brought one of the bigger power banks with me. I'll go get it later. Bambos Nicolau coming in. Second clipping zone, could have been a bit deeper. Gets the third zone and the fourth zone. Fifth zone on point. Stays within the lines of the racetrack. Look across the track. Looked like he was a little bit straight through the inner zone there as he powers full throttle across the last 3 clipping zones. Nice run by Bambos Nicolau in his BMW V8. Savas SP E36 transitions across the track. Could have been a bit deeper in zone 3. Zone 4 on fire. All the smoke he's producing on this run. Right on the edge of the racetrack there. Transitions in the inner zone. Pushes the car to the outer zone. Looking at the front wheels. Full throttle and loads of smoke. Yeah, baby! That was a nice run by Savas Pedro. He could have been a bit deeper in some of the zones, but some nice angle there. Full throttle, lots of smoke, and right on the edge of the track. Moving on to Alexandros. Alexandros' first run of the day with his E36. Could be a bit deeper in some of the zones. Transitions across the track in the inner zone with all 4 wheels. I'm sure that's not what the judges are looking for, and straightens across the last 2 zones. When he came through this zone, he went through the whole zone with the whole of his car. I think they want just the front bumper to be on the inner zone and then transition and stay on the outer zone past that cone there. I think it's his son. 5th zone, very nice. Transitions across the track for the inner clip. Could have been deeper on that zone. Pushes the car to go. They're running a little bit of a shallow line there. After the transition here, he didn't push his car to go right to the outside. He was maybe 2 meters off, so he missed this zone, and then if you miss those 2 zones, there's no way you're going to get the last one. Dave Bell, SR20, coming in far too fast with too much angle, scrubbing his speed. Now he'll be on the wrong line for most of the layout. Now he needs to push it, get the inner zone perfectly, and he needs to push it a bit more. He's going to miss the zones now. It's so important to get the first 2 zones. They're so important. If you mess those up, your whole line is off. The judges, I don't know who is driving this car. Maybe it's Andreas Wax. He has an S14 2JZ and he has this S13 2JZ. Misha, today it's a track day, so I don't know if the judges will give them any pointers after the training. They gave them a briefing in the morning. They told them exactly what they want to see, They told them exactly what line to run, where to decelerate, where to accelerate. But now they've left. But they might be back in. They probably left for lunch and they'll come back. Too much speed and too much angle from Bambos Nicolau, completely scrubbing his speed for the rest of the zones. I'll let you know though. I mean, you'll be here in an hour, so we'll find out if they say, if the judges tell the drivers anything. One second, people. Alexandros coming in. He needs to push his car a bit more to get to the outer zones. Gets the inner clip there. Now he's on to the correct line as he pushes his car, but could be a bit deeper on the last two zones. The comment section on Streamlabs is not very good. I cannot see it very well. Alekos Hasigos making a mistake on initiation. That's not on the racing line. Transitions through the inner zone. Off the rev limiter, but he's a bit shallow over the last 3 zones. I'm surprised there's some drivers we haven't even seen yet. Kostas Sparsis, I don't know where he is. Theo Pastu isn't here. Simos Tikis we haven't seen yet. Missing the second zone. Missing the third zone. Missing the fourth zone. Fifth zone, he washed out of it a bit too early. As he transitions across the track, could have been deeper on the inner zone. Scrubbing his speed there and just finishing on a shallow line. He needs to push his car a little bit more to get onto the outer zones. Once you're on the outer zones, keep that zone. Keep the outer zone, sorry. Push your car to the outer line and keep it there. I think we have a twin. We've got Dave Bell leading. Igor chasing. They transition. Dave Bell missing the fourth zone. Igor going for the dive, but he cuts the track. They come up for the transition. Igor straightens, trying to catch up with Dave Bell. Dave Bell smoking out the track, but running quite a shallow line through the zones. Nice clear blue sky here at the track. I don't see any rain coming. The wind is blowing from that way towards us, and it's pushed all the clouds over the track, and it's pushing these clouds that we see here that way. So hopefully they stay there and they don't come back, and we have a nice dry practice day. I do like watching the drivers practice in the rain, but it's not interesting for the spectators. You don't get the speed, you don't get the smoke, and we want to put on a nice spectacle. Bambos Nicolau running a bit too wide there. Chasing Andreas Wax. Bambos Nicolau gets off the course. Andreas Wax takes out the cone. Marshall showing to Andreas Wax to shut down the line. We need another cone here on this zone. Bien nakamu mendorada mega moto. Kostas Christoforou now driving into the track. We need a cone here for the outer zone. We don't have one. It's been completely destroyed. We'll go down and we'll get the weight and move the weight out the way, because the weight, if anybody hits that, it could hit somebody in the leg and destroy them. Έχουμε εγκόνο! Fera zip ties. If we had some zip ties, maybe we could zip tie this thing back together again. But I need to move all of the pieces out of the track. We don't want any of this stuff getting stuck in the wheels of any of the drift cars. There should be some spare cones here at the tower in case this does happen, but there aren't any, so there won't be any more cone here for one of the important so let's go back up to the top, because you can't really see anything from down there. So yeah, no cone there for now. I think Mario has sent one of the marshals up to the pit to get a cone so that we can put it on the zone. Igor leading, Dave Bell chasing. Dave Bell goes for the dive but cuts the track to do so. They come for the transition. Dave Bell could have been deeper in the zone there. Both Igor and Dave Bell are in the semi-pro category. Dave Bell rocking an S15 with a Rocket Bunny kit with an SR20, and we have Igor with an E36 rocking an M3 engine. Andreas Wax leading, Bambos Nicolau chasing, Andreas Wax right through the clipping zone, they're on the outer zone. It's a nice run. A dab at the brakes for Bambos Nicolau, and he pushes himself a little bit further back. He tries to go for the dive, but Andreas Wax is a fast driver. Full throttle from Andreas Wax, opening up the proximity as they come across the line. Andreas Wax is on fire this year. I've said it before on other lives, but he's doing really well, and he strives much better in his S14. Eftigios transitioning across the track, could have been a bit deeper on the third zone, missing the fourth zone, coming up to the fifth zone. He claims it, but I feel like he could have been a bit deeper. He got the inner clip there very nicely, and back on the outer line across the last three flipping coins. Oh. Oh, the sun is shining now. Lovely, I'm going to get a nice tan today. Just my arms, but better than nothing. Now we've got Neofitos Figatou coming in, missing the second zone, thus he's going to miss the third zone, missing the fourth zone because of too much angle. Could have been deeper on the inner clip too, as he powers around the last three zones, but washes out from the last zone and completely misses it. Just need to get in the shade here for a second to read your comments. All right, we don't have any new ones. Let's check power of the phone as well, just so I know that the live doesn't cut out like it did the last time. I'm losing power, even though I'm charging. We might have to go and get the other power bank. If more drivers arrive in the afternoon, I will do a second live, but it will probably be on Instagram because I try and keep one live per event on YouTube. And I don't want to just keep doing live after live after live. I feel like it might lose its value. So we'll probably do the next live. If more drivers do come, I'll probably do it on Instagram, as TikTok does not like me filming drift at all, and if I film drifting and I show one driver with a helmet on, it bans me for 24 hours. So that's the reason why, if you've noticed on my TikTok account, I am not posting that much content. And when I do post content for drifting, I have to put over 18 because it just bans my footage. I post the same stuff on all my platforms, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, but TikTok does not like it. So yeah, I've just stopped posting on TikTok and I'm concentrating more on YouTube. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. Hit the like on the live stream if you like what you're seeing. Eftigios coming in hot. Could have been a bit deeper on zone 3. Zone 3 he washes out 2 tires. Zone 4, Zone 5, he's on point. Right to the edge of the track as he transitions through the inner zone and pushes his car for the outer zone for 7, 8, and 9. And across my pole. Neophytos Picasso could have been a bit deeper in 3rd and 4. 5, he goes through it pretty well. 6, he gets it pretty well. Pushing his car to the outer zone with lots of smoke. Washes off the line and misses 7 and 8 clipping point. I don't understand why he doesn't just pull his handbrake a bit and let it go through the last 2 zones. Your discipline is key during practice. Alexis Harris pulling in now with his double cabin truck, and that means that his car is probably on the way too, if he didn't leave it here last night. Now we're waiting for the next run. I can hear somebody on the donut grid heating up his tires, so there are drivers coming up to the start line. The burnout box for this event is in the main track. At the end of the straight, we have a donut area. They go to there, they heat up their tires, they drive in through the racetrack, through the pits, come up to the start line of the layout of the parking lot, and then wait for Marios, which is standing there with the checkered flag. He's just waved it, so we have another battle. Who do we have? We have Savas coming in for another run. Nowhere near the zones, but he needs to get comfortable with the car as he hasn't practiced with it enough over the last week. He transitions, he gets the inner zone but could be deeper. Hooks up the handbrake. And across the line. He needs to work on his line a lot. But at least he's now drifting the whole layout much better than he was in the morning. All he has to do is just practice today until he gets one run where he feels happy with it at least. The flies at the track today are so annoying. Simos Tikis could have been deeper in zone 3. Zone 4 he gets it pretty well. Zone 5. Zone 6 he's on point. Puts 2 wheels out as he transitions across the inner zone. 7, 8, 9. On point from Simos Tikis. Guys, I'm going to go inside for a little bit because I am boiling outside. It's so hot today. Eftichios making a mistake on the initiation, thus missing the 2nd and 3rd zone and a little bit of the 4th zone. 5th zone, he gets back on it as he transitions across the track. Gets the inner zone, very nice there, very deep in the zone. As he pushes his car through the 7, 8, and 9. 8 and 9 he washes out and misses them. Oh, it's nice to sit down. We're 1 hour and 27 minutes into the live stream. We have 4 viewers at the moment. Better than nothing. I mainly do the live stream as well for the drivers to go home at the end of the day and watch their runs back, see their mistakes they're making. Hopefully it helps them out for the race day. And also it gives all of you viewers that aren't able to come to Athens Speedway today a look on the drift practice for the Cyprus Drift Championship. Plus, I'm not going to be here tomorrow for the race day. On Sunday, I've stopped coming to the Cyprus Drift Championship myself. I've been filming the championship for the last 15 years. And if I'm completely truthfully honest with you, I've had enough of... I want to watch a much higher level of drifting. So this year, my plan is to go to Germany and Drift Masters. And also Latvia. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss Poland. Simos Tikis leading, Savas SP chasing. Simos Tikis on a nice line, but could be a bit deeper on the first 3 clipping points. The rest of the zones, though, he gets them pretty well. On the inner zone, he could have been deeper as well. Savas SP trying to catch up with Simos Tikis. Not managing, but Simos Tikis is one of the best drivers in Cyprus. He's in the top drivers for sure. Along with CH Loisu, Serkis, Tsodas. I think Andreas Wax, obviously we can't miss out Andreas Wax. And Jaburas is doing very well as well. Kiros Artemiou comes in. Gets the 3rd zone, but puts 1 wheel out, thus missing the 4th zone. And we come round to the 5th zone. He's in it, but could be a bit deeper. Ooh, what happened there? We had a straighten. Maybe he missed the gear change. Guys, I'm just going to pop out of the live stream for 1 second. I need to check something on the cameras. We need a cone, guys. They're completely not listening to me. Savas Ioannou, his bonnet seems to be open at the front left. He pushes his car. Now he's on the outside of the line. He's getting the hang of it. He transitions as his bonnet tries to open. Too much angle and scrubbing his speed, but he's starting to get the layout pretty well. Let's tell one of the guys to put a cone. Ιωαννίδη, να βάλουμε έναν κόνο δαμέ γιατί έφυγε τσίλισεν το wax και... Just told the guys to put 1 cone here on the clipping zone so that the drivers can continue practicing and being able to see where the zone is. We'll film a few more runs and then I'm going to go with the bicycle up to the pits. We'll have a look a little bit at the pits and maybe get some interviews with some of the drivers. I might go down. Actually, we need all my stuff before we go. Έλα, έχει τουαλέτα, δάμε αν θέλεις. Ναι. Έλα πάνω, αλλά πρόσεξε, δάμε η γωνιά είναι έχει πάτωμα. Αν μπορείς να πέσεις και να πάεις κάτω στον πρώτον ορόφο. Είναι μέσα η τουαλέτα. Αλλά μπορείς να πέσεις. Ναι, μπορείς να πέσεις, δεν έχει πάτωμα, δάμε, κοίτα. Άμα πέσεις, πεθάνεις. Νομίζω, αλλά να πονήσεις. Εξαναπέσεις. Είναι ξαναπέσα, ούτε θέλω. Just gonna get out of here because somebody's using the toilet. We've got Savas SP leading and Simos Tikis chasing as they transition across the track. They both go through the zone. It's a nice run, to be honest. Savas SP is pushing as Simos Tikis is coming up behind him. They transition for the inner zone. They both get it. Savas SP actually opening up from Simos Tikis. I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting Simos Tikis to be on his doors. Nice run there by Savas SP. Well done for getting away from Simos Tikis. Got here, Yorgos Chelebis is the president of the Drift Club. Got Thrasos, one of the organizers. Mario's one of the organizers. They can't stand the smell of smoke. You're at the wrong event, bro. And then somewhere around here is Ioannidis. one of the other organizers. He's probably driving the double cabin. Kyros Artemiou, pulling off the run. Here we've got Daniil flying the drone, looking very concentrated. As we have Savas Ioannou flying through the track. He picks up his first zone of the day. He gets the fourth zone, but could have been a bit deeper. Fifth zone looks like he got it pretty well. Transitioning across the track, straightening a little bit as he powers around the last three zones. Nice to see Savas Ioannou actually get down a really nice run. 1 second, people, as I just get the bicycle ready. 1 second, people. I'm just going to put you down for a second because I cannot do this with one hand.
Серая? Ага. Это Миша. Битый Миша? Это Миша Смирнов приехал. Или Кириакос.
There are many cars on the start line, bro.
Yes, but no one is going to start.
Ah, really?
Maybe it's Sodas.
Nice when you have some drone pilots around you. You can ask them what's going on in the pits because they fly there quickly and check it out. I think I'm going to leave my drink here because I'll be back soon. And let's take the bicycle. At least we get some exercise in on these drift days. And now I need to get the okay to cross. Marian Arexo! Just asking the marshal if I can cross because I do not want to get annihilated by a drift car. Woo! Woo! Yeah, we get an FPV footage! Donuts with the FPV! As he flies off to this thing. Προλαβαίνω από πάνω. So there's that second zone, and the first zone is right here on the wall. This zone right here is the initiation zone. Flying up the start line as they're waiting for Chelebis to put up one more banner for one of the sponsors. As you see here on the start line, we have Sodas Kyriakos Mario on the right, Savas SP in the E36 on the left. Behind him, we have Alekos Hasigos. And they're off. I don't think they should be off because then we have Kyros Artemiou. We have Ioannou here. Coming in, we've got Kyriakos Aristidou just rocking up. Neophitos Fikartou here on the right. Hello. We've got the Kyriakos Aristidou team right there. We have here Alexis Harris with his S15 2JZ. Kostas Christoforou. El Toredo with the E46. Eftichios with the E46. Doros Francescu with an SR20 2.2 E30. Polis Konstantinou. Igor, Misha, Dave, woo! Alexandros, Simos Tikis, CH Loisu Garage, Dave Bell here with his SR20, S15, S14, 2JZ Andreas Wax, S13, 2JZ Andreas Wax. Andreas Wax there waving with Simos Tikis and Jaburas. Jaburas with the... Jabura, you did some really nice runs, bro. Very nice, especially when it was raining, it was really nice. Here we have C. Petru. Pambos Nicolaou is putting his helmet on to go out. Christos Gouda, of course, his dad is on the laptop doing some tuning like always. Then we have Pambos Nicolaou's S15 with an LS. We've got the tire guys that are doing a lot of work today. Let's go talk to some of the drivers before I switch off the live, because most of the cars are in the pits and it looks like they're just resting. It is the hottest part of the day today. On the left side, we have a very pro setup today. Oh, Bambos Nicolau just started his car. A very pro setup from Serkis today. We've got his race trailer, his tent, and his car looking all very cool. Gives me Driftmasters vibes, this setup. Even their scooter is livered up and they've got some nice seats and stuff. Pretty cool. There we go, CH Loidu's 2JZ right there, rocking around 900 to 1000 horsepower. I'm actually going to leave the bicycle here and we'll have a little walk around for now. The team is here all chilling. Something's happened, they're changing something underneath the car. We've got Misha here, that we did some twins yesterday and it was really good fun. He's one of the guys that we go and drift on the weekend. We've got Bolis Konstantinou freshly rebuilt car. Very nice, very clean on the interior. Look at that. Look how nice that is. The handbrake looks like a weird place to have it, but the interior is super nice. I love the cars at the beginning of the season. They're so clean and so beautiful. Nice there. I'm very happy for Bolis. He was racing an E30 for most of his drift career, so it's nice to see him build a really nice car, basically. Look at that. That looks sick. Alekos Hasikos coming into the pits there. Doros Francescu, we said before, he's rocking an SR20 with a 2.2. You can see the can of nitrous in the back there. We've got Eftichios here. You can see the external inside the engine. Eftichios right there giving us the thumbs up. Then we've got El Toredo. I'm good, bro. How you doing? We've got Kostas Christoforou with his S13, also rocking a 2JZ. We have Alexis Harris just suiting up there with his S15. This car is one of the closest comparisons to a Driftmasters car. It's so loud and the noise of the anti-lag reminds me so much of Driftmasters. It's a pleasure to watch Harris drive. He's one of the fastest drivers and I'd say one of the craziest drivers as well. Very nice, can't wait to see him. We might have to do a live just to see how Alexis Harris driving later on. You feeling good? You are the judge, of course you are. Here we can have a look at Neophitos Figartou's car. He has one of the cleanest cars in the Cyprus Championship. If you guess this car gets polished sometimes. It's probably one of the only drift cars that gets the polish now and again. His nice fuel setup in the back there. Inside, this car has a carbon fiber dashboard, carbon fiber center console, the screen, very nice setup in here. We've just done a photo shoot of his car recently, and Figartou on the door. SR20 by Mazworks, beautiful engine in there. You having fun, bro? Let's move over to somebody else and check out some more cars. Kyriakos Aristidou just pulling into the pits now, setting up his car with the team, putting some fuel in the car. We're expecting a lot of things from Kyriakos. He's one of the really good drivers in semi-pro. They've turboed the car now, so we're looking forward to seeing some cool runs from Kyriakos. We'll get out of his way so that he can set up. Alexandros is about to go out with his E36. Can have a look at Alexandros. How you doing, bro? You do good? Go enjoy yourself, man. Have fun. With a nice spoiler at the back there. We have Ezio Annou here, which is he's managing to pull on some good runs now. All he needs to do is figure out the layout now that he's managing to drift it. Nice to see him drifting today. Then we have Simos Tikis. His team are just doing a few tweaks to the car. He's checking everything out. Following, we have Savas SP. They're both training together. They're pretty good. As Kyros Artemidou pulls into the pits with his E36. Following then, we have Alekos Hasikos with his E30. We'll have a little peek inside his office for this today. Very nice. Moving over, we showed you CH Loizu garage before. We've got Dave Bell getting in the car, getting suited up to go back out there. It's now getting much hotter at the track, so I feel sorry for the drivers. It's boiling hot now. How are you doing, bro? How are you feeling, Dave? Is it good? Now the rain's gone and you can have fun again. Ade, bro, enjoy yourself, man. And then we've got Andreas Wax. As we said before, none of the engines are open here for us to check out what's happening. I need to find out who's driving this car. Bro, ποιος οδηγά το S13?
Πιάνει ο Wax, όποιος θέλει.
Alright, cool.
Είναι ο Wax που το οδηγώ.
Alright. Εσύ πώς το βρίσκεις, τούτο είναι ωραίο, ναι?
Στα νερά perfect.
Ναι.
Στα στεγνά.
Ήταν το drift car που έκαναμε τα μαθήματα στην piste. I love it. Ναι, it's so fun to drive.
Οδηγάν το γύρο στο δεξιάσα τώρα που λένε
Πέτερ.
master.
Ναι, ο Ιтай. Ναι, και κάμα του εγώ το μάθημα. Αλλά ωραίο οδήγημα σήμερα, ρε μπρο. Shaburas did a really good runs in the wet. He pulled off some very good runs. He's the guy I was telling you about the sim driving. He's got the most hours. And he's been lent this car for the weekend to have some fun in. There've been some changes since I drove it the last time. Like the bottle of nitrous back there, the handbrake, and they've ripped out some of the interior. But this is a super fun car to drive. Here we have C. Pedro and his father putting the car back together again to go back out. Bambos Nicolau. Whoa, the heat coming off this engine bay is ridiculous. Look at that manifold setup. That is ridiculous. As we come around, he's setting up to go out. We've got Christos here with their 2JZ E30. Used to be Pablo Samaras' ex-drift car. It's the only left-hand drive car on the grid. And Christos Guda moved over from right-hand drive to left-hand drive, and he's doing pretty well. It must be very hard to drive a left-hand drive car. That's the end of the pits now. The only car we didn't really show is Sergios Gregoriou, which it's him driving it and Lucas. Που οδηγάς δεν ήξερα ποιος ήταν. Εν εσύ, εν ο παπάς σου λαλό, για να μην κάνεις κάποια σημεία πρέπει να είσαι εσύ. Γιατί δεν το περιμένω από τον παπά σου. Αλλά είναι ωραίο το setup σας γαμάτο όπως τον drift μας. Anyway guys, as you see they're doing some little bit of adjustments. Maybe the front fender is hitting the tire while they're drifting. So they're just making some adjustments so he can go back out again. Anyway people, from me at the J Sport, I hope you enjoyed today's live stream. I'm going to cut it off for a bit because I'm boiling hot. I need something to eat and I need to charge my phone or I'm going to lose the live stream. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and we'll see you guys on our next drift adventure. Bye-bye from us.